Good morning, students. See here, I have given some pictures. What do you infer from these pictures? Do you have any idea? All these pictures are made up of plastics. Here you see plastic tubes, plastic rods, uh, paints, adhesives. Yes, this unit is of chemistry of materials. So in this unit, we will discuss about different types of polymers, classification, its properties, preparations, mechanisms, etc. So in the introduction, the word polymer is derived from the Greek word poly. It means many and mer means unit or part. So polymers are generally macromolecules formed by the repeated linking of large number of small molecules. Polymers are widely used in automobiles, defense, electric goods, and computer components, etc. So, polymers are macromolecules, it means giant molecules of high molecular weight formed by the repeated linkage of large number of small molecules called monomers. So, if you take an example of polyethylene, it is prepared by the monomer ethylene and it is formed by the repeated linking units of large number of ethylene molecules form a polyethylene. So what is a monomer? A monomer is a micromolecule, means a small molecule which combines with each other to form a polymer. Some monomers and repeating units of polymers are given below. Yes, for the preparation of polyethylene, we are taking a monomer as ethylene. For the preparation of polypropylene, the monomer is propylene. For the preparation of polyvinyl chloride, we are taking vinyl chloride. For the preparation of polystyrene polymer, we are taking styrene as a monomer. In the same way, for these polymers, we are taking these monomers. So this is about the condensation polymers. See, epoxy resins are prepared by the addition of epichlorohydrin and bisphenol. And for the preparation of nylon 6s, we are taking hexamethylene diamine and adipic acid. And for the preparation of nylon 6, we are taking monomer as caprolactam. So in the same way, for the preparation of polymers, we are taking monomers. So what is a polymerization? It is a process in which large number of small molecules combine to give a big molecule called a polymer with or without the elimination of small molecules like water, ammonia, etc. Next, what is the degree of polymerization? The number of repeated units in a polymer chain is known as degree of polymerization, and it is represented by the following relationship. So, degree of polymerization is generally denoted by the symbol N. It is nothing but the ratio of molecular weight of polymeric network divided by the molecular weight of repeated unit. So, here they find out the degree of polymerization of polyethylene. So here five number of ethylene molecule they are taking and it is a corresponding polymer of that, and here the degree of polymerization is 5. In this example, 5 repeated units of ethylene molecule are present in the polymeric chain, so the here the degree of polymerization is 5. So next, oligomers. Polymers with a low range of degree of polymerization is called oligomers, and here the molecular weight ranges from 500 to 5000. Next, high polymers. So polymers with high degree of polymerization is known as high polymers. Their molecular weight ranges from 10,000 to 2 lakh. The next topic is functionality and its significance. See here, what is the functionality? The number of bonding sites or reactive sites or functional groups present in a monomer is called a functionality. So here if you take an example of ethylene, here the functionality is 2. See how it is 2? There are 2 bonding sites are due to the presence of one double bond in the monomer. Therefore, the functionality is 2. See here if you see one double bond is present in a monomer, so therefore the functionality is 2. So if you take an example of hexamethylene diamine, Here also the functionality is 2. How the monomer contains two functional group, that is two NH2 group, two amine groups are there. So here the functionality is 2. Next, if you take an example of glycerin, here can you find out the functionality of glycerin? Yes, it is 3. See here, if you see 3 different OH groups are present, so here the functionality is 3. So next, what is the significance? So first we'll discuss about the bifunctional monomers. The bifunctional monomers, that is the functionality of a monomer is 2. Mainly it forms a linear or straight chain polymers. Each monomeric unit is a linear chain is linked by a strong covalent bond, but different chains are held together by weak van der Waals forces of attraction. It is a secondary bond. So the primary covalent bond is considered as a primary bond, and weak van der Waals forces are considered as secondary bond. So therefore, there is no restriction to for the movement of one chain to then another chain. This type of polymers are very soft, flexible, and possess less strength and low heat resistance. So they are highly soluble in organic solvents. So here, if you see, if you take an ethylene molecule, the functionality is 2. So here, this is a primary bond and it is a covalent bond, and this is a secondary. It is just a van der Waals forces existing between the molecules. So next, significance of trifunctional monomers. So what is the best example we have seen? It's nothing but a glycerin. When a trifunctional monomer is mixed with the small amounts of bifunctional monomers, they form branched chain polymers. The movement of polymers chain in a branched polymer is more restricted. See, because it is it's a cross-linked polymer or branched polymer, so here the movement is restricted. So if you see trifunctional monomer is binded with the bifunctional monomer, it forms a cross-linked or branched monomers. Okay. So next, polyfunctional monomers. So polyfunctional monomers form cross-linked polymers. All the monomers in the polymer are connected to each other by a strong covalent bond. So therefore, the movement of a polymeric chain is totally restricted. This type of polymers are very hard and brittle and possess very high strength and heat resistance. So they are insoluble in almost all the organic solvents. So this is the type. So it forms cross-linked between the functional groups. Okay. So next, coming to the classification of polymers. So there are two types of polymers. One is natural polymer and the other one is synthetic polymer. So if it is exists naturally, it is a natural polymers. If it is man-made, then it is called synthetic polymers. So there are two types, natural and synthetic. And in the natural, there are two types, organic and inorganic. And in the synthetic, there are two types, organic and inorganic. So here they have given the corresponding examples. So next is natural polymer. The polymers obtained from nature, that is from plants and animals, they are called as natural polymers. So here the examples are starch, cellulose, proteins, nucleic acids, natural rubbers. So here how it is prepared. So isoprene is polymerized and it forms a natural polymer, it's polyisoprene. And next topic is synthetic polymer. If it is man-made thing, then it is a synthetic polymers. The examples are PVC, polyethylene, nylon, Teflon, bakelite, and terylene. So in the synthetic polymers also there are two types. One is organic polymer and the other one is inorganic polymer. So these polymers containing hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, and halogen atoms apart from carbon atoms. So the examples are polyethylene, polyvinyl chloride, epoxy polymers, and polyurethanes. And the next type is elemento-organic or heteroorganic polymers. So these are also composed of carbon atoms and the heteroatoms like nitrogen, sulfur, and oxygen. The main chain consists of carbon atoms and those whose side groups contains heteroatoms linked together to the carbon atoms. And the examples are polysiloxanes and polytitoxanes. And the third category is inorganic polymers. So these are polymers containing no carbon atoms, and the chains of these polymers are composed of different atoms joined together by chemical bonds. So this is polysilane dioxide and polysulfuric acid. Thank you.